Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the Stock Market Summary Series, and wow, what a day for Tesla and Apple. It's been a jagged, zigzaggy kind of week for the markets, particularly for SPY and QQQ, but ultimately they chugged higher, so that's good to see. Before we get into it, you know the drill. Hit that like button and maybe click that subscribe while you're at it so you never miss a beat. You can always unsubscribe later, and as you guys know, none of this is buying or selling advice. Nope. We're just here to provide some market commentary and trading education. Alrighty, let's get into the no-fluff summary of the markets.
Yeah, it was certainly a choppy week, but, we saw the markets cap it off on a pretty high note today. The major indices really pushed higher to close out Friday's session.
Okay, so major indices. What really stood out today in their movements? Anything specific?
Well, the S&P 500, SPY, it climbed 0.78%, and it's still testing that weekly resistance trend line.
Right. Still bumping up against that level.
Exactly. Then you had the NASDAQ, QQQ, really leading the pack.
Oh.
A strong 0.93% gain, just solidifying its strength, continuing that leadership role we've, consistently highlighted.
Yeah, QQQ's been strong.
The Dow, DIA, that added about 0.5%, while the Russell 2000, IWM, it eked out just a 0.22% rise.
Turners today.
Yeah.
Tesla, TSLA, just absolutely rocketed higher. And on strong volume, too.
Oh, yeah.
This was right after it broke out of that symmetrical triangle, a move we predicted could happen yesterday.
Absolutely. That was a really critical moment for TSLA. And, for folks tracking chart patterns, that symmetrical triangle, it indicates consolidation before a decisive move.
Right. Built up energy.
Exactly. So TSLA's breakout from it is significant. Suggests a strong directional trend might be emerging now. But, and this is important, bulls really need to hold control here. They need to avoid what we've cautioned about, that potential death hook.
A death hook. Explain that a bit.
Sure. It's basically a sharp, unexpected reversal after a strong rally, often signals a false breakout. So if TSLA doesn't hold these gains, it could mean a deeper correction is coming. That's why watching those key support levels is just absolutely critical right now.
Gotcha. So discipline is key, watching those levels.
It really is. And speaking of strong performers, Apple, AAPL, also shown today. It extended that incredible weekly surge. What was it?
13% for the week. That's huge.
13%. Quite a run.
So were there any sectors that particularly stood out?
Yeah.
Either positively or negatively, giving us maybe a glimpse into the broader market feeling?
Yeah, technology, XLK, it led the sectors with a 0.94% gain. Not really a surprise given the NASDAQ's performance. But what's particularly interesting, maybe a bit concerning, is that financials, XLF, they lagged today.
Financials lagging. That's that potential canary in the coal mine we've been watching.
Exactly. We mentioned it yesterday. Financials can sometimes be an early indicator for the broader economy. Their underperformance might signal concerns about, say, future economic growth or credit conditions, so we'll definitely be watching if this trend continues, if it spills over.
Okay. Keep an eye on XLF then. Any others lighting?
Real estate, XLRE, also trailed, dropping about 0.82%. And look, this just underscores why staying disciplined, managing your risk is so vital. It's about navigating these setups like TSLA's breakout with precision.
Knowing when to get in, but also when to protect your capital.
Precisely. Those techniques for managing moves like TSLA's, identifying those key risk levels, well, they're foundational to our approach. And actually, our mentorship program really digs deep into how to spot and manage these exact kinds of moves and risks, with calm confidence.
Makes sense. Okay, shifting gears slightly, what about the economic landscape today? Any big news or was it quiet?
It was pretty light on the economic news front today. No major Fed statements, no key data releases like that inflation report we're anticipating on Tuesday.
Right, so the market's still kind of digesting things.
Yeah, exactly. It means the markets are still processing last week's weak jobs report. That report hinted at a potential slowdown, right? So traders are trying to balance that against these ongoing tariff concerns, which, could impact corporate earnings down the line. It's this delicate balance that keeps the overall sentiment, let's say, cautiously optimistic, sort of a holding pattern until the next big data point.
Okay, cautiously optimistic. Got it. Now let's jump into the wild world of crypto and metals. What's Bitcoin doing after that big move yesterday?
Well, Bitcoin, BTC, it slipped a bit today, about 0.91%. It's really just pausing after yesterday's 1.9% breakout above its 50-day moving average.
Okay, a pause. Is that typical?
Oh, yeah, very common. Pause after a breakout is often just a classic retest of that breakout level. An asset might pull back slightly, test it as new support before hopefully resuming the upward trend. The next few days are definitely key for confirmation there.
All right, watching BTC. And what about our shiny friends, gold and silver? Anything interesting happening there?
Gold, GLD, the ETF, it closed flat today. But here's the interesting part. Gold futures, GC, they actually spiked to a new high overnight.
Oh, really? Futures spiked.
Yeah, hinting at a potential breakout from that ascending triangle pattern we've been tracking for a while. An ascending triangle often signals a bullish continuation, so a breakout could mean strong upward momentum is building.
Okay, potential breakout in gold futures. And silver.
Silver, SLV, it gained 0.35%. Importantly, it recovered back above its 20-day moving average, something we flagged yesterday. This sets it up, potentially, for a push higher if that momentum holds.
All right. As always, guys, if you've got a stock you're watching or maybe a question about the markets, just drop it in the comments. We might cover it in an upcoming episode.
Yeah, definitely. So wrapping up the week, today's gains led by QQQ and that TSLA breakout, they mark a strong finish to what was, let's be honest, a really volatile week. Going into next week, all eyes will still be on SPY, hitting that resistance and whether XLF continues to lag.
So what's your take? What's TSLA's next move? Or how about that gold future spike think it holds? Drop your thoughts below. We'd love to hear them. We'll see you next week and have a great weekend, everyone. We'll catch you next Monday to see how these things play out.